Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the iRacing AI series here today. We're at Iowa Speedway, and it's going to be 185 laps here at the short track. Going into Iowa here today, let's see who is leading the points. With Iowa, though, it is the final 6 races out of the 20 race season. So we're getting down to the end. So right now, Dan Park, a good 94 points ahead of Angel Gutierrez. Uh, Devin Smith 106, Emerson 148, Mitchell Hudak 166, Devin Zimmerman 170, Bowen Adams 177, Mike Bliss, Lingerfelt, Voiles, Todd Bodine, Markle, Ricky Red, Petty, Kenny Wallace. And at the back, there's everybody else if you need the points to see where you are. And let's get on into Iowa here today. Then we'll open this. Lock that. Turn off relative. And back to that. Let's get on into it. And we'll watch Dan in his qualifying once again. Alright. Supposed to be on iRacing. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Alright, let's go find Dan for the quali again. We always go on with the pole sitter. Or the point leader, sorry. Here we go, lap 1 for everybody. TV2. Coming to the line for the first time. It's Christian Bracken, Mark Martin. Mark Martin on pole so far, Case Kane, Jacob Ty, Dave Mulaney, Christian Bracken, Dan, Lingerfelt, Kenny Wallace, Malenko. Can anybody get a better lap on the second lap? Malenko to pole. Voiles, Angel Gutierrez, Kane to pole. Bill Elliott, Tony, Mal, Voiles, Angel, Lingerfelt, Devin Smith, Kyle Petty, Dave Blaney, and Dan fell all the way back to 23rd on qualifying there. And I saw Emerson was last. Hopefully, let's see if he improved at all. He went up to 13th. So everybody top in the points is like, I think, 16th up, 15th up. Everybody did get faster on that second lap, though. A lot of people did, I should say. Let's wait for everybody to park it on pit road. And we'll continue on over. And we will grid. And then on grid. Close that. Put that back up there. There we go. As we get ready for everybody to pull on to the track here. It is Casey Kane, Bill Elliott. There we go. Casey Kane, Bill Elliott, Tony Stewart, Malenka, Voiles, Angel Gutierrez, Lingerfeld, Devin Smith, Kyle Petty, and Dave Blaney, your top 10. Let's get ready to go here. What can Casey Kane do from pole? I guess we got 2 pace laps, so my bad. Thought we were going to be going there. Alright, now we're going to get ready for the pace car to pull off here. Pace car is off.
Green flag,
and we are
green
green
flag.
here at Iowa. Casey Kane gets off to a good start over Bill Elliott. Tony Stewart falls back a little bit. Now Mal goes to the outside of the 20. Can he get the high line to work here at Iowa? Mal now to the inside of Bill Elliott for second. It looks like he will clear, and now it's Tony and Bill again for the third spot. Looks like Bill will get it off the corner there. And you got Lingerfeld battling Daniel Voiles back here for around 5th spot. But now Kyle Petty to the inside. You got Tony again trying to pass Bill Elliott on the inside here. A lot of movement early on. Bill Elliott, or Casey Kane pulling away though. There's Tony still battling Bill. Bill trying to get it to work on the outside. Gets a little loose now. Here comes Voiles to the inside of the 91. What can Voiles do? He's at the back bumper of Tony Stewart, but Bill Elliott's still on the outside there. Trying to make it work. Tony gets a little loose there. Now Bill Elliott gets clear. What about Voiles here? Like I said, Tony, here comes Kyle Petty to the inside of Voiles. Oh, Petty pushes Voiles up the track a little bit there. Voiles saves it. Almost gets put into the wall. That was quite close. Gutierrez now side by side with the 25. Or with the 38 of Voiles, sorry. Devin Smith in the picture now. Trying to work his way up. He wants to go get that points lead. Past the 25 needs to be the 25 and the 9. So right now, I mean, Devin Smith would be gaining points. As up front, it is all Casey Kane over Malenko, Bill Elliott, Tony Stewart, Kyle Petty, Voiles, Devin Smith, Angel Gutierrez, Lingerfeld, and Mark Burton, your top 10. We got a lot of battling going here towards the outside of the top 10. Jacob Provost just gets around the 07 of Dave Blaney there. So they start to spread out. Here comes Angel Gutierrez to the inside of Voiles again. Voiles really battling people hard here, and has almost got put in the wall a couple times. We'll continue to watch this battle for 7. And this might bring Lingerfeld into the picture. Will they go 3 wide? Lingerfeld has nowhere to go. Gutierrez still on the bottom of Voiles. Gutierrez has the inside line, but Voiles battling on that outer line. And it looks like the 25 will get it. And blocks Boyles off the corner there. But it goes right back to the inside.
Caution is out.
We got a yellow.
Out.
30 seconds. Oh my. It looks like we might have a big wreck. Alright, we're gonna go see what happened here. Oh no. Oh, they were about 4 wide. It looks like Kurt Busch had a problem on the outside here. Tabadine, yeah, they were 4 wide. Tabadine just goes up, gets turned by the 97 Kurt Busch. He goes down the track. Oh, Christian Bracken got some damage. So, let's go look at the 5 car there. Got ran into when they were all checking up. From the 26 Amazing Crichton, it looks like Devin Smith also. So the 5, 26, 33 all got damaged. Ben Park might have a little rear end damage there. We'll go on board with Todd Bodine through this. And you can see everybody else pile in. And it's unfortunate there today. But looks like everybody else is still running here. But you can't do 4 wide like that. Now we're going to get a good restart here around lap 11 or whatever, whenever they decide to pit and shit. I even think how long this could be if we get a bunch of yellows. 185 laps at fucking Iowa. Short track racing. At least the laps under yellow are quick. Looks like all 4 of them, there was 5 on pit road, but 1 got going. Whoever 35th is. Top of 9. Nope, Ben Park is stuck on pit road with damage. That's unfortunate. I don't know how Todd Bedoyan's back on track when he had a hood missing. That's wild. Oh, he's just racing without. Alright. I wonder if Todd Bedine will even try to fix the rest of that damage. I guess he's not going to, though. Ben Park must have gotten a bunch because he's still on pit road. So he's not having good luck again. Looks like we'll be going green this time by. It's Casey Kane, Malenko, Bill Elliott, Tony Stewart, Kyle Petty, Devin Smith, Daniel Voiles, Andrew Gutierrez, Kyle Lingerfeld, Mark Martin, your top 10. As we wait for the pace car to pull off. Casey Kane from the pole, what can he do again? Can he get another good start, or will the 7 of Malenko get a good start?
Green flag,
Yeah, green here at Iowa. They're saying Mal got a decent start this time, compared to Casey Kane. Kane clears of these, and here comes Bill Elliott to the inside of the 7. Can Mal get the run off the high line there? Clear. He cannot. That allows Bill Elliott back to the front in 2nd place now. Mal has to get off that high line to have any chance up here. still fighting the 91 of Bill Elliott quite hard. I think Bill's going to get clear here, and he will. No, he won't. The 7 of Mal has a great run off on the high line. And now Bill clears. Kyle Petty battling Tony Stewart behind here. The 7 got a great run again on Bill Elliott. Actually, I think they're catching up to Kane up here as they're fighting like this. And Mal gonna go around the outside of the 91. Kyle Petty gets up in the 4th. Tony almost gets the wall there, it looked like. Very slow on the high line. Bill Elliott now has Kyle Petty battling him for 3rd or 4th place now. Yeah, 3rd place, sorry. Bill hangs on for now. Kyle Petty loses that spot. But it looks like Petty will have a run on the off the high line. God damn, why can't I speak tonight? Bill Elliott clears for the moment. With Mal looking to chase down Casey Kane up front. Now you got Voiles and Angel Gutierrez still battling with Tony Stewart behind. Tony to the inside of 25. Gutierrez falls back 1 spot now. Bill Elliott got loose up here. Allows Kyle Petty to get back to him. And it looks like Bill will clear the 45 of Kyle Petty for right now. What can Voiles do here? Kyle Petty, though, gets a great run back up Bill Elliott. Can't get it to work. Go back here, Mark Martin, Tony Stewart battling for 7th place here. And Angel Gutierrez right ahead. Gutierrez, Tony Stewart still side by side for the 6th position here. Tony in the outside. Mark trying to make a 3 wide here in the 6th. Looking for space. Mark really close to the back bumper of Tony right there. We got Bill Elliott again with Kyle Petty on the outside here for the 3rd spot. Looks like Bill will clear him again. Voiles, though, great run. Mark Martin clears Tony. Kyle Petty once again going to the inside of Bill Elliott, though. This time almost hits the rear quarter. Left quarter panel there. Both getting loose. Kyle Petty hits him a little bit. Gets a little loose. And here comes Voiles down for the inside. Voiles going to clear, I think, Kyle Petty here. Willie, maybe not. Tony's still battling 25 behind them. Kyle Petty really trying on the outside here of Voiles. Nope, Voiles cannot get it to stick like Kyle Petty was when to the inside of Bill Elliott. Kane has started to pull away again. 1.1 now ahead of Mal. Voiles a little loose, gets a little close to Kyle Petty there. Off the corner. Using those tires up for sure. Still battling Kyle Petty. Kyle Petty has a fast car. He says he can go challenge Mal for 2nd. Trying to. He's going to clear Bill Elliott first. And it looks like he will. I'll go back a little bit. You got Kenseth who's moved his way up. All the way up to 6 somehow. You know, Ben Park right there in the 18 is lap down for a couple. So he's got fresh tires trying to pass everybody. Back in 10th is Jacob in the 40. He's trying to hang on to a top 10. Point leader Dan Parker's also right here with him. Devin Smith got passed by Dan, you can see. Right now, Angel Gutierrez ahead of Dan up there in the 25. Dan's trying to catch 25 to extend that points lead. And it looks like Cal Petty is catching Mal. We'll go out there to take a look at that in a second. We'll watch the points leader here for a second. We'll see how Cal Petty can get around the 7. He has caught up to him. Going around the outside now. Once he clears the 7, if he can he get up to Casey Kane? But they're still side by side for a second here. I wonder when they will have to pit. It is a short track, so they might not have to for a while. Cal Petty is clear finally. Mark Martin has caught up to Voiles though. Can he get around him? Looking to the outside. No. Still side by side up here. Mark gonna make the high line work. Will he clear Voiles here? Looks like he will clear the 38. Voiles still looking to the bottom there. And you got Dan Park trying to get around Dave Blaney. The 9 car seems to have a long run car here today. But can the pit stops, can they do it there? He's gotten around Angel Gutierrez, so that is not good for the 25 or the 94 in the points. We're second and third in points. Dan right now just following his brother who has fresher tires through the field. And man, what did I say? Cal Petty has the car to go catch Casey Kane all of a sudden. He's catching up to the 19. Maybe Kane pushed the tires too much. Because Cal Petty has been way faster than him. Cal Petty's trying to chase down Casey Kane here for the lead. Mal now holds up Bill Elliott and Mark Martin back there. Now they kind of evened out here. Todd Bodine, we are catching him with that no hood on the front end. So there will be a lap car. Looks like Dale Jarrett's on pit road. Might have had a problem. Guess we'll go back because he's not really catching up. Go back here. Huge battle in the top 10. Got Dave Blaney, Daniel Voiles, Dan Park, and Tony Stewart all battling for like the 6th position here. Tony and Voiles really running at it. Dan Park right now trying to get back past Dave Blaney. Dan looking to the inside now. The 07 can't quite get there. Still looking to the bottom of the 07. Not quite there yet. That's what you want to call it. Mark Martin just puts Bill Elliott into the wall. Bill Elliott definitely has some damage now. That was Emerson on pit road right there. And I think Bill Elliott, he's going to have to come down and get some pits. I don't know if he's going to be able to with everybody passing him. So he's going to have to wait. Hopefully nobody hits him. Jacob with the 40 almost does that. Holds up Devin Smith in the 94. That's not good. Oh, Cropley hits him. Cropley now has damage. The 77 Quapple hits him. Can Bill Elliott get to the pits? Cropley, yeah, Cropley in the 24. Major front end damage because of that. That is troublesome for these two drivers. Phil Elliott gets taken out there. Kane, though, catches up the top of 9 here. Can he get around the 54 easily? Or will this allow Kyle Petty to get up to him? Todd Bodine just blocking the 19. To the inside of Todd now. Todd is fighting for that spot. For that stay on the lead lap or wherever. This car is definitely hurt. Kyle Petty, though, is here. Up to Casey Kane now. For the race lead, side by side down the front straightaway. Kyle Petty going around the outside of the 19, trying to. Kyle Petty's still there on the outside. Kane comes back on the bottom, though. Ooh, Kane getting really close to Kyle Petty there. Still side by side here at Iowa. Kane almost clears the 45, and he does off of turn 2. Will Kyle Petty get another run at it here? Petty goes to the outside. Kyle Petty gets a great run off of turn number 4. Still side by side down the front straightaway here. But Casey Kane passes him through the middle of the corner. But Petty gets a great run off again. Mark Martin, 2.5, 2.8 back. Still not catching up as they're battling like this. Kyle Petty leads at the line this time and clears on the outside. Clears down in front of the 19 of Casey Kane. Well, looks like Kyle Petty might drive away now for a little bit. Dan and Tony Stewart still battling back here. For the 6th position, Tony clears Dan right there. Dan is up 16 spots. Kyle Petty up 8 to the lead. Mark Martin up 8. 29 for Jeff Green. Jeff Green is up to 10th. That's impressive. I think he started last. I think Mal might have hit the wall or something there. He got really slow there. Dan to the inside now. Here's the lap for Todd Bodine. Todd Bodine now blocking both Park brothers. Dan, though, pushes his way through. When will pit stop start here? We're getting close to the 50s. We'll stay with Dan for right now as they're getting through traffic. He's worked his way up in the top 5 out of nowhere. Says he wants a championship. Dan, Tony Stewart still battling. Tony gets loose on the high line. It looks like Dale Jarrett pit. I don't know how many laps down he is. We'll stay with Dan, like I said, because here comes Tony right back at him. Let's look at the top. So Todd Bodine, Christian Bracken, Maisie Crichton, Malico. So Mal, I think, got damaged because he's on pit road 2 down. Kurt Busch, Dale Jarrett, Quaffle. Ben Park right there. Bill Elliott now 10 down. Cropley 10 down. And Emerson 12 down. So there's been a lot of damage happening here. Tony to the inside of Dan Park now. Looks like he will clear the 9. Well, Dan come right back at him here. As the top 3 have pulled away. Angel needs to catch up to Dan 10th. But what about Devin Smith? Smith is 17th. He's got some work to do to catch up to 9 here. Close that points gap. We'll go back a little bit before pit stops right here. Got another battle in the top 10. Kenseth and Kenny Wallace. Kenseth's really battling, pushing Kenny Wallace up the track here. Kenny Wallace gets him on the outside. I didn't mean to do that. Angel Gutierrez and Jacob Provost battling for the 10th spot. I'm going to go back to the leaders here. I feel like they'll be pitting soon. This has been a longer run now. Still a long way to go. Yum, yum. I feel like Kane is catching back up to Kyle Petty here. Tabadine comes off pit road right in front of these guys. He will have newer tires. Here comes Casey Kane to the inside. The Kyle Petty for the race lead because of the 54. But they both should have better. Maybe not. Maybe the tires are good enough for the 54 to keep going. Away from these two. Even when they're from bumper. Oh, Kane really close to Kyle Petty there. Petty falls back to second. Slow push on the outside here. They're racing each other quite hard. Kane back to the race lead from pole. Now old Todd Bedine, when his tires wear out here, will become slower than these two again. Petty not letting Kane get away here. I think Petty used the stuff up. Kane now 2 cents faster than last time by. So looks like Christian Bracken, Maisie, Mel, Todd, Kurt, Dale Jarrett, Travis Quapple, Ben Park, Bowen Adams, Bill Elliott, Cropley, and Emerson have all had problems here today. Kane is now pulling away from Petty quite a bit. Trying to see how many laps they're going to be doing at fuel here. We're getting quite far into this without having to pit. I would think any time now. But maybe not. A lot of battling going on back here. Dan Park, Dave Blaney. Some guys that have fresher tires. Dan stuck behind his brother again. Here comes Kenny Wallace now. Right behind Dan Park. Like I said, they're all making it a long while on gas here. I'm gonna go grab a drink. Be right back. Alright, I am back with a drink. Looks like no stops have started yet, but Dan Park, Kenny Wallace still battling with Dave Blaney up here. Now they're going to catch up to Todd Bedine up here. Maybe not. Tony's third pits, lap 65. I think pit stops are starting. Let's go up here. Casey Kane, will he pit anytime here soon? He will not pit this time. I saw Tony pit, so unless he got damaged. Cal Petty pits from second though, so it was not a fluke. There's actually quite a few pit on lap 66 now. We're gonna have to watch everybody that pits now early. Does Kane come down lap 67? He does. What about Mark Martin? Mark is coming down. Dave Blaney is coming down. Boyles pits. Anybody stay out? Looks like Angel Gutierrez will stay out. The lead alert. Actually, they don't get to the lead there. Kane was still ahead. So Angel Gutierrez, Devin Smith, Jesse Adams, Matthew Hubert playing the long game along with Gavin Wintermute. We'll stay on with the 25 here. And here comes the rest of them down pit road. So around 68, 65 to 68 laps they can go. What I'll do is just so in theory they can all make it to the end of one more stop. It'll be around like 1:30 and on. So that is wild. And there we go. Angel Gutierrez is going to come out way behind. Casey Kane is the race leader. That's what we're going back up to right now. Cal Petty not too far back though. Mason Creighton's still out here though. I didn't even think about it. They pit at lap 11. Same with Christian Bracken. And the first yellow that we got. Now we're getting some traffic here. It is Casey Kane, Cal Petty, Mason Creighton, Tony, Christian Bracken, Mark Martin, Dan Park, Kenny Wallace, Dave Blaney, and Voiles. I didn't think we'd be getting any lap traffic, but we are. Staying in the thick of it right now. What is Cal Petty going to do here? Mal was up in the top 10. And now he's the lap, just about to be lapped here. I don't know what's going on with the 7. And they're all stuck behind Todd Bedine right now. Cal Petty to the outside of Casey Kane for the race lead. A lot of lap traffic ahead of these two. Emerson, Kurt Busch, Mal, and Todd Bedine with no front end. Now they're going to be 3 wide right here. both had 3 cars ahead of them. Kane trying to go to the middle, but that is where Todd Bodine is. Kane making it 3 wide, not quite. And guess what? This has allowed Tony Stewart to get up here. Now that they're finally getting around Todd Bodine, trying to. Cal Petty can't get around him. Cal Petty's finally there to the inside of the 54. Can Tony get around these guys quickly? Tony has brought himself back into this race. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll go through the field. Maisie Carton, Dan Park, Mark, Christian Bracken, 7th, Kenny Wallace, Dave Blaney, Bill Elliott, your top 10, or with Hoyle's top 10. Now, Angel Gutierrez is 11th, needs to go get up there and catch Dan to make ground. Where is Devin Smith? Devin Smith also 17th. They gotta go catch Dan Park. Park's up to 4th too. Maisie Creighton pits right there. Cal Petty and Case Kane again pulling away from Tony Stewart. Stewart caught up with the lap traffic, but now they can't do anything. And Mel 2 laps down. 27th on up around lead lap. They're all quite spread out at this moment. Looks like Kevin Smith trying to get around Mike Bliss. Can he get around him? We'll stay here with the 94 for a little bit. And he does clear the 0. The 2-lap pressure tires are helping out. Devin, the leader, is exiting 4 now, and he's in 1 and 2. So that is not good for him. He's got to pick up the pace. Kurt Busch back on pit road there. Something around 125 to 135 they'll be pitting. Kenseth and Jacob battling for the 10th spot. Angel Gutierrez has gotten back up to the top 10, but they're far away from Dan still. Dan looking for another top 10 here. Jacob almost gets into the 17 and Kenseth there. Gutierrez is making ground. Trying to catch up to Dave Blaney here. And Boyles, they're both right ahead of the 25. Two leaders, again, catching up to traffic. We're gonna go take a look at that. Dan actually catching up to Tony Stewart, showing he might want to challenge for the win. Like I said, Casey Kane and Cal Petty are caught up to lap traffic here. Biffle, they gotta put a lap down now. Rest in peace. Biffle not having a good day. Oh, Dale Jarrett pits right there. With these laps down now. Dan got around Tony there, battling for the third spot. I did, and then Tony got back around him. Tony just pulling away from him again. Kane trying to get around Kevin Harvick right now. Harvick making it hard. Trying to stay on the lead lap. Puts Kane on the high line there. Everybody is back on track because we saw the 40 there a bit recent. 21 laps down, unfortunately. Now Petty does get around Biffle. Looks like Dan fell back about a second from Tony now. Go check on Devin Smith. Smith back to 17th. He lost 2 spots since last time we saw. He was 15th. We know Angel Gutierrez is 7th and Dan's 4th. So the other 2 are top 10 again. Devin looks like he's going to fall back again. Not being consistent enough here. Dan's just having some really good luck here with these races. Let's go find the 25 and Angel Gutierrez now. Gutierrez trying to chase down Boyles. We'll probably finish, what, 130? Around that. Maybe. We're about, what, 50 minutes in? We're only on 95. Maybe like 2... Maybe 2 o'clock we'll finish. We'll see. Dan still holding his ground in third. He's caught actually back up to Tony's third, so we're going to take a look at that here. Dan just trying to make an emphasis on the season that he's just going to lock it up, maybe with a race or two to go. Just got to get around top, but I am though before he gets to Tony. I'm watching the gap for Kyle Petty and Kane too. It's about 5/10. Kind of about what it is here for second and third. Dan starting to fall away. Kyle Petty though, 2/10 from Casey Kane all of a sudden. This lap traffic's making it hard on both of them. But it looks like Kyle Petty looking to get there to Kane, but not being able to. This is actually allowing Dan and Tony Stewart to catch up. Biffle really making it hurt in Kyle Petty right now. Biffle almost cleared himself into Kyle Petty there. Now both of these guys are stuck in the high line. Kane went out of the groove way high. 3 wide. Kyle Petty almost turns himself on Kane, but to the race lead. As we stay with Kyle Petty as they're in the mix of this traffic, trying to battle each other. Like I said, allowing Tony and Dan to catch up. Came back to the bottom though, Kyle Petty. Kane's there and clears Kyle Petty, but Petty back on the outside. Harvick's in the way. Petty back to the race lead. And now look, Dan and Ben Park are up here. Freshest tires out of the 4 is Casey Kane though. Kyle Petty looking to the inside of Harvick. Dan gets around Tony. Rusty Wallace almost turns himself on Biffle up ahead. Here comes Petty again, trying to lap more. They did get around Harvick finally. Petty has nowhere to go though with the 16 and 2 ahead. Trying to make a 3 wide, gets a little loose. Here comes Casey Kane again. But the 19 got a little loose there. Looks like Kane might have gotten loose again. Kyle Petty tries to go to the outside of Rusty Wallace. Dan now trying to get around Harvick. They're all just jumbled up right here. Kane again looking to the bottom of Kyle Petty. Petty though gets a great run out the corner. He's gonna try and clear Rusty Wallace and pull away once again. And here comes Dan. Trying to get around Harvick or Kane. Harvick, like I said, a lap down. Kyle Petty gets put way up high. Kane cannot get the bottom of the stick though. Everybody's just on the way. Here comes Dan. Is he going to make a 3 wide for the lead? He does not, but Kane and Cal Petty are right there. Cal Petty gets a little close to Casey Kane. Your point leader, Dan Park, is caught up. He wants to get his win on the year. He has yet to get one. And Cal Petty almost gets booted by Dan there. Dan has cleared the 45. Kane, though, trying to get around Harvick still. It's not working. And Rusty, I should say. Lap traffic just being a nuisance to these guys. Dan on the outside here. Cal Petty still sends it in there. Kane goes around the outside, but gets shoved up by Cal Petty there. Cal Petty looking for the race lead once again. To the bottom. Dan now to the outside of the 45, while the 19 on the high line. Dan just trying to follow him. Kane back to the race lead. Here comes Cal Petty back to the bottom, though. Cal Petty get a run on the outside of Kurt Busch also. There's Rusty Wallace. Still side by side for the lead. They're trying to go around the outside of the two. Kane gets loose and goes high. Here comes Dan for second. Kane, though, got it back going, and now he's racing for the lead again. Here comes Dan once again to the inside of 19. Tony, like I said, is here, and Boyles is about 6 seconds back, catching up. Cal Petty finally to the outside of Rusty Wallace. If he clears him, he might be able to drive away. Here comes Dan, gets clear. Casey Kane finally. But Dan to the inside for the race lead. This could be Dan's first lap lead of the day. Really close, but it looks like Cal Petty might get it at the line. Still side by side here. Cal Petty really trying to make that outside line work. Almost gets into the wall. Got out of the groove. Now Dan to the race lead. Here comes Casey Kane. Rusty Wallace really being a nuisance here. Dan Park is the race leader, though. Cal Petty almost put the bumper to the 9. Well, here comes Kane right back to the bottom of the Cal Petty. Can Dan finally get around Rusty Wallace? Damn it. Rusty put up a really good fight, but Dan looks like he's going to be the first one to clear the 2. What about these two? Kane or Cal Petty, they've been racing the 2 for a while now. They have not been able to do anything. And Kane has the fresher tires. They're going 3 wide here. Dan is actually passing Gavin and Special Hodak up there. His car says he can do it. He is just pulling away. Tony's having a problem with Mel behind him. We will just stay with these two as long as they battle. They hurt their chances to win at the moment with Dan Park pulling away after passing. We are getting close to those final pit stops. Sorry, I was just checking something. Mal's actually going to pass these two possibly. Like I said, Dan Park pulling away by a lot. He's in no man's land. He's trying to get the next set of cars and put them a lap down. So Angel Gutierrez up to 6th. At this moment, we're gonna take a look and see how Devin Smith is doing. See if he has moved up anywhere. Elliott and Pit Road. As for Devin Smith, looks like he is up to 14th. He has gained 3 since last time we looked. But he's got a lot of work to do. He needs another top 10 to not lose too many points. Dan, who is now leading the race. Dan's about to extend his points lead again. It's come out of nowhere with speed here this week to win. Hasn't been able to do that all year. And my God, these two are still battling, killing the run, falling even farther behind Dan Park. They just will not give it up to each other. And that's going to cost these two the race. And Tony had the speed of Dan, but he couldn't pass either of these people. They're still battling. Kane finally cleared again. But here comes Kyle Petty back to the bottom. Guess what? They still haven't gotten around Rusty Wallace yet either. Here comes Todd Bodine. This is going to help Casey Kane. They're going to finally get around some lap traffic. Maybe not. It's holding Kyle Petty up. That's going to allow Tony Stewart to get possibly past the 45. It does allow Tony to get towards him. Can the 19 start passing lap cars like Dan Park was? Kyle Petty just catches right back up to the 19 in Casey Kane. With Dan pulling away so much, Angel Gutierrez has caught up to these guys a little bit. Same with Voiles. And back to the inside. Goes the 45 by Kyle Petty. Kane gets shoved way high though, that Tony Stewart now gets past him. My God. Kyle Petty almost cleared Rusty Wallace finally. And he finally clears him. Now Tony and Kane have to get around these guys. It is lap 131, so they should be pitting any time compared to when they pitted last time. Oh my God, I didn't even see. Angel Gutierrez is now up to 3rd and Tony pits. But Gutierrez caught up to these two. I didn't even realize our leader pit of Dan Park. And now we go to Kyle Petty up here. There's the 45 pit here. It looks like he does. Casey Kane stays out. However, Angel Gutierrez is right there. So is Voiles. Voiles pits, but Kane and Gutierrez stay out. Gutierrez to the outside here for the race lead. These two pit this time by. Kane and Gutierrez come in. We're going to stay with Casey Kane now. A lot of others did stay out. Looks like Devin Smith stays out again. Devin Smith, Hubert, Gavin, all stay out. Here comes Dan Park back through the order. Already ahead of Kane by quite a bit. And Dan has already gotten around the other two that are doing a weird strategy. Kane is coming out way, way behind for sure. Let's go find Dan. We'll stay with his 9 car until everything cycles out. Dan's way ahead. All of a sudden, he's starting to pull away. And Dan is 6.2 ahead of Tony Stewart. Yep. One other person that pit the same lap as him. Came out of nowhere to win this. Alright, your top 10 though is Dan Park, Christian Bracken, and the 5 wherever they are. Right here. Tony Stewart is 3rd. 4th is Kyle Petty. 5th is Maisie Crichton. 6th is Casey Kane. 7th is Voiles. Angel Gutierrez 8th. Mark Martin 9th. And 10th is Kenny Wallace. Sorry, Matt Kenseth is now 10th. As Kenny Wallace is falling back. Let's go find Devin Smith. Smith is 15th. Still losing a lot of time there. And Dan is not too far behind him. Oh, Dan put up the track. Almost gets hit by Jeff Green and the 88 and Dale Jarrett there. That was close. Dale Jarrett, Jeff Green really making this hard for Dan to lap him.
Alright, man, caution is out.
Oh, we got a yellow. It was a 37th place car, so Colin Cropley, 24 car. Let's go see what happened. No, it said 37th though, but yellow out here. I think the yellow's out here. Look at the pace car. There it is. Oh no, Bill Elliott had problems again. He was just... Oh, Rusty Wallace hit the 5 Christian Bracken and put fell Elliott way into the wall. Looks like Rusty also has major damage now. And now we're going to have pit stops. This shakes up the whole thing, but I think most of the pit stops are done. Does anybody pit? Or are we waiting for everybody to catch up still? Some people did right there. That looks like Devin Smith on pit road, Tony Stewart on pit road. Watch for the 20 to come through the field here. Can Dan hang on to this race win after making up 22 spots from where he started? So he started 23rd to get up here. So that is wild. We'll see what he can do though. So we got 18 on the lead lap. Well, this definitely can affect the points. Gutierrez is not top 10 no more for some reason. I think they might have pit. We'll take a look at everybody on lead lap once they get double file here. Sorry, what am I saying? Angel Gutierrez is 5th. And depending on where Devin Smith starts, there definitely could be a lot of shakeup on points. As long as Dan stays up front, he'll be okay to extend the points lead. And you can see Smith, he's actually just outside the top 10, it looks like. So it is Dan Park, Kyle Petty, Casey Keene, Voiles, Angel Gutierrez, Matt Kenseth, Markle in the 42, Kenny Wallace, Dave Blaney, Jesse Adams, and Devin Smith. Second in points is 12th, so they get a lot of work to do. You got Jacob, Kyle Ingerfeld, Jeff Green, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick is the last on the lead lap. So Harvick, Tony are the only two that pit, actually. I don't know if either of them are going to be able to do anything with 10 lap pressure tires, but we will have to wait and see. And in this there, looking at it, Casey came to the 19, and the Gutierrez on the 25 both have the freshest tires up front after those pit stops. Pace car is off.
Green flag,
We just under 40 to go here at Iowa. We are green. Kyle Petty got a decent start in the high line. Can he keep it around the top? But Dan, though, is going to clear and probably pull away unless a 45 Kyle Petty can keep up. And these two are going to race each other so hard again. Maybe not. Casey Kane clears. Like I said, they have a couple lap fresher tires. What can they do? Now Dan starts to pull away. Angel Gutierrez, though, says he needs to move and try and get some spots here in the 25 car. If she does. Hopefully nobody lets Dan just pull away. Make it a race. Angel Gutierrez still looking to the inside of Kyle Petty there. Looks like they single file. Mark Martin trying to get up into the top 5 on Voiles here. Mark Martin is there. Is he going to clear the 38? Not quite. The 19 and 45 are still racing each other so hard that it's just letting Dan go. The guys with fresher tires are not able to do anything. Kenseth gets around Voiles now. Cal Petty to the inside for second again. But they're now going to allow, like I said, Dan to pull away. Petty clears the 19. Can he go catch Dan Park, though? Let's go back here again. Kenseth trying to pass.
All right, man. Caution is
And
out.
oh, we got a
Caution is
yellow
out.
again. And that was 18th place. Todd Bodine had a problem with Michael Waltrip. Oh, no. That was just Mikey that had a problem. Oh, Maisie Crichton, I think, got put into the wall here by the three of Bun Adams. Just nothing they could do. The 16 just brakes hard. Christian Bracken gets involved, turns Mike Waltrip. And the 54 just stops. And then they all get back going. Now, what will Dan do here? In this theory, I think he would stay out again. He does. I don't think anybody's going to pit from the lead lap. I'd be surprised. Looks like nobody is pitting. So it does not look like it's worked out for Tony Stewart, who's still 16th only. And like, who's getting their lap back here? Looks like Matthew Hubert will get a lap back, so they will get a chance to get some more positions. As we wait to go back green. It went good. Just so you know, you can see it, Dan. Look how many spots you've gained to get to the lead here today. This race has been wild. This has actually been one of the best ones to watch, in my opinion, commentating this. Because Cal Petty and Casey Kane were so far ahead in the one long green flag round. You and Tony Stewart ran them down. Tony's had unfortunate luck since these last couple of yellows have come out, but on the long run, you and him caught them when they were in traffic. And you passed them, and then you pulled out to like a, I don't know, 6, 7 second lead, and then a yellow came out. There's no more pit stops either. Everybody should make it to the end from here. So unless you want new tires, that's the only reason you would be pitting. I think we should be going green this next time by. Fucking hiccups. Yep, and here we go, double file back up. It is Dan Park, Kyle Petty, Casey Kane, Angel Gutierrez, who's second in points, Mark Martin, Daniel Voiles, Matt Kenseth, Ty Markle, Jesse Adams, Dave Blaney, and then third in points, Devin Smith, all the way back into 11th. Right now they have moved spots. They were 15th at the long green flag round, and now that these yellows have been happening, they're up to 11th. Can Devin Smith at least finish top 10 since Dan is leading? Dan is going to extend the points lead if he can win. And I'm pretty sure it'll be the first win of the year for the 9. So you're ready for the pace car to pull off. 30 laps to go here. Pace car is off.
Green flag, green
We're
flag.
back green here at Iowa. Dan gets a good jump, but so does Cal Petty on the outside. Cal Petty draws even with the 9. Cal Petty hanging tough on the outside at the moment. What can he do? It looks like Dan will clear the 45. And here comes the 19 of Casey Kane once again. Really close to Cal Petty there. Kane will clear the 45. Let's look at Angel Gutierrez, second in points, sorry. Trying to keep pace. Needs to go get the 9 car, but Mark Martin says, no, you're going to fall back. Devin Smith needs to catch the 25 and the 9. Smith has passed Markle. He's actually up into 9th position back there. And Dan Park has Casey Kane to the inside for the race lead. Kane has come out of nowhere. These have been the top 3 cars all day. Cal Petty now looking to the inside of Dan Park. Kane back to the race lead though, but Cal Petty is also there in the 45. Kane clears. Dan falls back to 3rd. Damn fucking pace car. And Cal Petty keep pace with him now. Angel Gutierrez is close to Dan. That is for the points lead. If the 25 can get around the 9. Dan though back to the inside of the 45 of Cal Petty and clear. Goddamn pace car. I swear. Angel Gutierrez though wants a shot at the 45 here. Can they clear Cal Petty? It looks like they will. Freshest on tires is Kevin Harvick back there in 10th. We'll see if he can do anything with that. Can Gutierrez clear Cal Petty though and get to Dan Park and gain some points? Dan must have got loose off of turn 2 there as Angel Gutierrez to the outside. Cal Petty sends it on in there though. Almost gets into the rear end of the 25. They're almost 3 wide. As Casey Kane now just pulls away. Gutierrez again still using the high line to get around Dan. Dan gets into the 25. They both hit a little bit there. I don't know if the 25 is damaged or not from that. Cal Petty gets back around now. And Jesse Adams out of nowhere up in the 5th. Kenseth and Voiles touching bumpers back there. Here comes Jesse Adams now. God, fuck. All you guys gotta be passing when we're going past the race. It'll be posted tomorrow, Dan. The road course race on YouTube. Oh, Kyle Petty looking to the inside of Dan Park. Really loose though on the bottom. Almost hits the 9. Don't destroy your races here. Petty back to the inside. And he's gonna clear Dan all of a sudden. Dan must have used his stuff up on the last restart. And here comes Jesse Adams now to the inside. Adams now up into 3rd. Dan is going the wrong way. Here comes Angel Gutierrez. We're gonna watch this since Kane is pulling away. 25 needs to get around him for points. Devin Smith, like I said, also has to get up here, and he's on 8th. Your top 3 in points are in the top 10. We'll keep an eye on the time. With Kyle Petty trying to chase down Casey Kane. Pole sitter is back out front. Angel Gutierrez tries to get the Dan Park, but can't quite do anything there. That's going to allow Kenseth to maybe get to the 25, which Dan would be happy with, to gain more points for the championship here. Kenseth now on the outside of the 25. Angel Gutierrez now trying to go back to the outside of Dan. And is there. Dan goes low off the corner. Tries to get to the rear bumper. Kenseth is also there, like I said. What can Angel Gutierrez do here? Came back to 2nd ahead of Kyle Petty. Angel Gutierrez looking to the inside of the 9, almost to the rear bumper. But here comes Kenseth on the outside now. Oh, Gutierrez almost hits the 17. Almost 3 wide up here. Kenseth had a great run. He's going to go possibly around both of these guys. What can Kenseth do on the high line? Gets a good run off of turn 4 and would have beaten Dan to the line there if that was the last lap. Kenseth still trying his hardest on the outside. Cannot get clear of the 9. Now Kenseth looking to the bottom. Dan goes high. It's going to allow Angel Gutierrez to get to the inside now. Gutierrez is there. Dan falls back now even more. Here comes Tony Stewart, who was the one just as fast as Dan when they caught him on that long green flag run, the guys that are back out front. Now these two are battling each other once again. Now, the only other one that really needs to get up here is Devin Smith in the 94. He's the one that needs to gain points on the 9 car. Just like Angel Gutierrez is doing, even though it's only 1 spot difference here. Dan really... I did not see Zimmerman get front end damage, but apparently he's got some major front end damage there. Dan hangs on over Tony Stewart for the moment. Like I said, Kane, as he got the clean air on a nice green flag run here again, is way out front. And Smith looks like they are just falling the wrong way now. Back to 13th for Devin Smith. And not having a good time. The only good thing is he can't go past 19th if his car won't handle well. I mean, he's fighting Boyles. Boyles has been top 10 all day, and he's not having a good day either now after these couple yellows that happened. And Tony did get around Dan. Tony now trying to get up to Angel Gutierrez here. 10 laps to go. We do have a lapper in front of the leader. That's Todd Bodine once again in the 54 car. I don't think it slowed down Casey Kane too much there. Jesse Adams up to 3rd. Kenza trying to catch him. Tony has caught up to Angel Gutierrez. Tony, I didn't even realize, has fresher tires at 144. He did come down one of those yellows. So if he gets into the top 5, this would be working out for him. I don't know why Jeff Green all of a sudden caught up to Dan. Jeff Green out to the inside of the 9. And he is there. We might have a pretty decent points battle here. If the 25 can hold out the 20. Jeff Green gets around Dan Park now. That's another spot lost. And here comes Dave Blaney now. And Harvick has fresh tires too in the 29. So that's not good for the 9 car. Angel Gutierrez has to fight against the 20 here with all they can. Tony tried to get to the inside, but Angel Gutierrez did not let up there. Dan is starting to fall back from those guys now too. But Devin Smith is not making ground, so that's okay. Gutierrez going high as Tony looking low with those fresher tires. Dan now battling the lap car. Can Dan hang on to a top 10 now after leading the lap here? In 2.5 seconds. Am I stupid? That's 4 laps up. Why does it say 167? Should be 185. Or, oh, I'm on somebody that's lapped. I'm like, am I stupid? Sorry. Yeah, it's 3 laps to go here. Kate's getting a 2.5 second lead. Dan right now just trying his hardest to stay in the top 10. Kevin Harvick, like I said, has fresher tires, but it's not working. But we do have a lapper, Todd Bodine, up here. They're all getting pretty clear of him pretty quickly. Kane coming around to 2 to go. Oh, there we go. Kane off of turn number 4, gonna get 1 lap to go here at Iowa, and all of a sudden from pole to winner it looks like here. Usually this happens on a road course, and not very often does it happen on the ovals here. I for sure thought the yellows hurt the 19 and the 45, but it didn't. But off of turn 4, Casey Kane will win. God damn it. Cal Petty will get second. Third will be Kenseth, got around Jesse Adams. Andrew Gutierrez holds on to fifth. Tony Stewart, I don't know if he got Dave Blaney, but it says he got sixth. Dave Blaney seventh. Jeff Green eighth. Harvick ninth. 10th for Voiles. Mark Martin 11th. The Dan fell, unfortunately, the 12th there. Devin Smith 13th, could not quite get it, but he almost. I assume Todd Bodine held up the 9 car there. And Devin Smith almost got to him, but couldn't quite get there. And Dan stays on the track. God damn it. Couple ED. Dan, Biffle, Markle, Jacob. Gotta wait for everybody to pit now. And we'll go take a look at the points here. Man, Dan, you came ahead on an unfortunate time. I thought you had this race set and done if that long green flag run kept going. I don't think you lost the points lead, but Angel Gutierrez definitely gained on you. I mean, I could be wrong. Why is Michael Waltrip going again? Aw, oh, you stupid man. Who else is on Devin Smith? Gotta wait for everybody to pit or it doesn't count the points. Oh, well, Mikey is still pitting here. We will see. Next race is going to be Chicagoland. We got Auto Club, Martinsville, Michigan, and Bristol to round out the season. I think it should be a good 5 races here. And this one made a pretty damn good race out of the whole race. Alright, there we go. Let's just close this and view results here. Casey Kane did have the fastest lap at a 23.8 here today. We had 17 lane changes, 3 cautions for 12 laps. Um, yeah, Kane led. I didn't realize he led that much. Kane led 120 of the 185, but the only ones to really challenge him on that were Kyle Petty, 26 laps led, 1 for Angel Gutierrez, Dan, who had 37, 1 for Devin Smith, and I think early on someone else did too, but I could be wrong. Nope, that was it. An unfortunate day for Bill Elliott. 62 down, accident was actually out of it. Everybody else multiple laps down. 18 in the lead lap. Sorry, 19 in the lead lap. Can I click this? Nope, it won't. Alright. And for the points, it is Dan Park, 66 points over Angel Gutierrez. Top 7 don't have a win, which is wild to say. Um, yeah, Dan, 66 over Angel, 109 over Devin Smith. Voiles, 198, 202 for Mitchell. Mike Bliss, 206. It's starting to, just build from there. Biffle's 557, man. He's almost, he got 1,890 points, so I think Biffle's probably out of it here. And there's still 5 races to go, so I think anybody within 300 is probably still in it, but it's a very hard stretch from 19th to get there, I would think. So you better hope if you're in the top 10, top 15 in points, you start having some really good races right now to change this around. But with that being said, after that race, Devin Zimmerman still leading the top 5s of 5 and top 10s of 5. So he's had a good year. Also at 2 wins, but only 12th. His average finish is 20th, though, so that's the problem. Um, I think he's the only one there. Devin Zimmerman, the only one that has 2 wins. Um, average start has been Voiles at 13th. And average finish is obviously Dan with 13th. I don't think we have multiple pole winners yet. I think we've had a different pole sitter every race so far. So, as for laps completed, Dan and Voiles have completed the most with 1,719. Um, and then Mitchell Hodak at 1,718. Everybody else is quite a bit less. As for laps led, got Lingerfeld, who's led the most, but he's only 8th in points. Same with Devin Zimmerman, 12th in points. Kane has had, he led a lot this past race, that's probably why. But he's 36th in points. Hodak at 118. And that was the only 4 in the hundreds of leading laps so far. And they are 8th, 12th, 36th, and 5th on laps led so far. And Dan has led 84, so it's not been too bad for him. Uh, most incidents, yep, still Ben Park, unfortunately, with 30. He actually gained a couple in that race. Still averaging 2 a race for his 30, averaging 2 a race in this AI season. And obviously, he's the highest in that. Then we'll go back to the points. So yes, we will see you guys next time at Chicagoland. So peace out, guys.